Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another upload. This is going to be the last one where I look at my small collection of Leicas and show you the little detail differences between each model. The next upload will be looking at a copy that has a very interesting story. So today anyway, I want to concentrate on the last of the screw thread Leicas, the 3G, which we see here. And I've also got my M3 and the 3F as well in the frame, and there's a reason for that, because on the last upload, what I've always tried to do is to show each camera in the order in which they appeared on the market. So the 3F here appeared in 1951, and it so happens that this particular camera is an example from 1951, so it's an early one. And in the last upload we compared this to the M3, and this is also an early M3. The M3 first appeared in 1954, well this is a 1955 one, and by pure coincidence the 3G appeared in 1957, and this is a 1957 example. Now that's pure coincidence, that's not any particular clever buying by me, but it does put things in order of appearance. So if we put the 3F there and we sandwich the M3 in there, there is the 3G. Not quite in the frame, but I think you'll get the picture, as it were. It's an awful day here. It's raining outside. It's really miserable, and I just hope that the lighting's okay. I'm doing this from the dining room, as you may well have, perhaps, I don't know, I may have mentioned this before, and I've got a nice mug of coffee here, so I can then ramble on, and I hope you won't find this too boring. In fact, I hope you'll find this reasonably interesting. Thank you for your 2 people have made comments. That's very nice. Please make more, and after, in the new year, I'll look at some other cameras, but for now I want to sort of finish this by ending up with the 3G. So why have I got this one here? Well, this is really the sort of you've seen these two before, you haven't seen the 3G, and I compared the 3F with the M3, and of course pointed out that there isn't any way you can compare these. The M series was a totally new model. But the reason I got them like this is because whereas the 3F and the 3G are a development from each other, there's also some little details on the 3G that were sort of a crossover from the M. So just for now I'm going to put the M out of the picture, because I want to compare the 3F here with the 3G. Now, when we looked at the 3F, one of the 2 points I did mention is that the 3F had a film reminder on the wind-on knob here, and it had this larger diameter shutter speed selector, and it had this this collar here for synchronizing the flash with different types of light bulb. Now, interestingly, that feature disappeared on the 3G. It's still got the larger diameter shutter control, but the collar underneath has disappeared. The 3G also is, if we compare the two, I think it's very slightly taller It certainly looks bigger, not by very much. Perhaps if I turn them, let's turn this one around as well. And I apologise for the strap, but this camera is being used at the moment. But if I do that, the 3G is actually it is actually bigger, not by a lot, but it's there anyway. It has got this slight additional height, and the IIIf has now got the film reminder. Move this strap out of the way. I'll take the IIIf out of the frame as well now, because we've already seen that, and I just wanted to show you the little difference there. The film reminder, which is rather like, in fact it's the same as the one on the M3, which is that one there. But you'll notice this is an early M3, because the ASA setting only goes up to about, well, it goes up to 200 ASA, and that sort of gives the camera's age away a little bit. Whereas the later 3G, it actually goes up to an ASA of 1000. So we can see how that camera has developed. The most noticeable thing, I think, between the two is that if you look at the viewfinder window here, it's much larger, and there is a frame line within the viewfinder just for a standard 50mm lens, but it's so designed that you can actually see things that are going to come into the frame, and that's really useful. It's something that is featured on the M series as well. So if you're composing and there's somebody going to walk into the frame, you can just see them outside of the bright line viewfinder. This camera has recently had a service. I bought this one off eBay, body only, and I put a film through it, and the film was perfect, no problems at all. I subsequently put another one through, and there was clearly some sort of curtain lag. I don't know why that happened, but it went and had a CLA up north at Bury at Alan Starkey's Camera Works UK, and it came back, and they do a nice job, because the rangefinder, which was okay anyway, it's now even better. So I would recommend Camera Works UK. You'll lose the camera for a bit because they're busy, and I think the reason they're busy is because they're good. So anyway, going back to the camera, the main difference in appearance, that the body is taller, not by much, but it's taller. It's got a different rangefinder. Like the IIIf, it's got the flash button at the back. There's no filming at the moment. You can hear what it sounds like. It's very pleasant. Of my screw thread Leicas, I like this one because it's got that much bigger viewfinder. The rangefinder and the viewfinder are next to each other, whereas on the M they're combined. But you know, it's just that little bit. If you wear glasses like I do, this one is the one I'd recommend. However, these do come at a premium. I wouldn't like to quote figures. This is a nice clean one, and I can't remember what I paid for it now. It was a bit of a gamble, but as you can see, it's not had a lot of use. It's really in nice nick. When it went back to Camera Works UK, I hadn't noticed, but a little bit of the vulcanite was missing, I believe. I hadn't noticed that, but they've replaced the little bit. And the thing is, though, I'm not actually certain where it is because I hadn't noticed it. So anyway, thank you again, UK Camera Work up at in Bury in Lancashire. So what else can I say about it? Well, I think I've covered the few differences between this and the IIIf. It's slightly larger, and it has the film reminder now on the back, which it inherited, I suppose, from the M series, and it was the final one of the screw thread Leicas. It was in production for really only 3 years, from 1957 up until 1960. As I said, this one came as a body only. It's fitted with an Elmar f2.8 lens, which this lens came, I don't know whether you remember this, but originally I did an upload of a Leica 3A that I'd bought, and the 3A came with this lens. So I took the lens off the 3A and I put a nickel Elmar on the 3A because it looked more appropriate. So I had this lens going anyway. So this is the lens of the 3A, which is now on this 3G. The lens dates from 1959. And also what came with the 3A as well was a leather case, but it wasn't the right leather case for a 3A. In fact, it's the leather case for either one of these or an M3, because it has the cutaway in the back to show the film reminder dial. So I think really that's it. This one, the 3Gs came standard as far as I know, with the timer here for taking delayed action shots. I mean, if you're into doing selfies with the film camera, then you can pose yourself there and use that. But I don't think I've ever used one in any camera I got. I've just noticed there is a little bit of a difference there. If you look at the knurled film wind on here, there's the knurling goes right down to the edge of the control, whereas it stops here. You've got this little area there where no machining's taken place. I mean, that's neither here nor there really, is it? It's just one of those things. So I think I've said everything about this camera. I know it was a bit short and sweet, but if you can afford it and you fancy buying a screw thread Leica, then I would say go for this one. Sorry, while I have a sip of coffee. I wouldn't really, I don't like sort of saying go for this, go for that and go for the other. But the lovely part about using this one is that bigger viewfinder. Not that I'm saying that there's anything wrong with the viewfinder on the others, but this one just happens to be that much, that much bigger, and it's got that useful bright line. Interestingly, somewhere, unfortunately, I should have brought this with me, and I did this. I found a circa 1960 camera dealer's price list for all these cameras, and I should have. I know where it is, but it means I've got to. I don't want to. I haven't got any editing software. I'm shooting all this from the hip, as I've mentioned before. So there's going to be quite a pause, you see, while I disappeared into another room and started starting sorting it out. Maybe on another upload I'll do that. That's the problem. I've done this without any scripting at all, and that's why, if you've watched the others, you'll notice there are mistakes. I made a mistake about the number of M3s produced. I think on the last upload, it was actually it should be nearly 250,000, 2,200,000, and I think I said something like 22,000, which is quite incorrect. I did amend it on the underneath the comments on that upload, but this is the problem when you do things, as it were, a straight recording. You upload it, then you listen to the upload, and you think, well, crikey, that's wrong. I hope nobody notices that. But anyway, that was wrong, which I have now amended anyway. But I did amend it in the comments. But things like this happen when you're doing it from the hip. So I think that's the 3G covered. It's a nice camera, and I mean, I mentioned this before. These are in price very, very similar to the M series. They're a lot more expensive than say for example the IIIf. You'll probably pay, let's say, around about probably twice as much. But if it's the IIIf and the previous ones for that matter, that they're nice to use, but this one has got that that slightly bigger viewfinder, and that does make a difference, especially if you're like me, you're getting a bit ancient, and also if you wear spectacles. But I don't want to put anybody off from buying one of the other models. They're all beautiful, they're all lovely. But that's just, I suppose, my opinion. I just enjoy using this one, and that's why it's got this leather strap on. I don't want to take it off. I should have done in some ways, but every time you get your fingernail down there and prise it off, you're putting a little bit of wear on those lugs there, those ears there. So I don't want to really take it off if I can help it. It does make things a bit more difficult. So anyway, I'll put that back and put the cameras back in order that they appeared on the market. And you can also see that they're all rather nice. So that's it for now. This is relatively short one. It's I'm just looking at it's 18 minutes 40 seconds of me babbling on about my cameras. But I do enjoy doing this. I'm not I'm not really that good at it, but I hope that you found it of interest anyway. I thank you for the 2 people who have made comments. The next one, which is going to probably be a week or 2 away, I'll reintroduce you to the 3B and a rather interesting copy. So what I've done, I've shown you how, I've explained how the 3G inherited certain things from its close relative, the IIIf, but also it inherited a few things from its newer brother, the M series, namely these film reminders here. The 3G, of course, loads again from the base of the camera, as per all of the screw thread Leicas, and there's a knack to doing that, but it's not that difficult. But the M is, crikey, I'm getting this even more tangled up now. But the M series is, or are, easier to load. And these 3Gs, you know, the price is in the M territory, and I think I mentioned on the last upload I was looking at one of these on eBay to buy, and I realised that you know, you can get an M series for more or less the same money, and so I did. But I wanted to get a 3G just to complete my collection. And well, that's it then. We're up to 21 minutes now. I think you've probably heard enough of my babbling. Anyway, thanks for listening again, and I'll see you soon, and bye for now.